Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Kumiyanji, and I promise you guys to be here at 9, but I'm here at 10 o'clock. So I hope everything is fine with you guys, and God bless you guys. And I appreciate everyone that watching right now. Welcome to my channel. It's a new channel, but we will work through it. We will build this together. This channel here is for South Sudan generation voice. My title is to speak about education in South Sudan and speak about how these people will always lead us to the dirt. Our leader in South Sudan. I pray that God can change some things back there because we have families, our roots is there, and we wanted to see South Sudan in 2030. We wanted to see South Sudan as a newborn baby, clean, with resource, with people that can get all the job that they needed. You got your family there, they want to eat. Try to help. Let people hear your voice. I know sometimes we don't speak because we've been controlled. We've been controlled for a long time. And that's never did as good at all. Never did as good. Because we've been controlled by our own people. Our own people. Just an example, if you want to go outside, they will tell you don't go outside because it's dangerous. But this is the right way. That's the right way. As your parents, you know. But when it comes to somebody that don't know you, but it's telling you what to do and what not to do, just for the sake of the power, just for the sake of the position as a leader, you're supposed to teach. Just like a father, you're supposed to teach your kids how to respect, how to obey order, how to speak, education, give them education, let them go to school and finish their school. So the next president will be somebody that we know, we will trust. For a long time, we didn't trust nobody in South Sudan but John Garang, believe me or not. I was born in that time. I was born in John Garang time. I was born there in Juba. And I witnessed all the war that going on in Juba. So we just sometimes we gotta leave the ignorant alone so we can find out ourselves what we need to be done in South Sudan. It's a lot of things need to be done in South Sudan. As a matter of fact, I just want to share something, small, because, this has been going on, and I spoke about it in my last video. I spoke about how they're trying to make South Sudan look like a trash, South Sudan is not trash. South Sudan, for not all kind of colors that we can think of, South Sudan is for us as a South Sudanese. South Sudan is not for Asian people. South Sudan is not for Vietnamese people. And I'm not saying why they have to send these people to South Sudan, because they say we are the most dangerous country in the world. They say that is no flight can go to South Sudan because it's a rescue mission. It's going to be a lot of risk to take anybody there, or for somebody to travel to South Sudan. That's exactly what happening. They're telling American people that don't go to South Sudan. But now you have these people that get deported to South Sudan and they don't even live in South Sudan. They don't even have South Sudan passport. They don't even have South Sudan identity. So for the most part, I'm just going to play this clip so we can share our thought,
And this really set off a chain of events of his attorneys trying to figure out why he would be sent to South Sudan. He did have a removal order, but to his own country, not to...
Let's listen again.
What the attorney for that national says is that on Monday, he was notified that he was going to be deported to South Sudan. He's not proficient in English. He was advised, or he was notified by ICE while he was in detention of this without an interpreter. And this really set off a chain of events of his attorneys trying to figure out why he would be sent to South Sudan. He did have a removal order, but to his own country, not to another one.
It's inexplicable, except that so much of the lawlessness occurring in connection with these deportations is cruel and dumb. And so the only explanation could be that it was a way of somehow punishing them for being illegally in the country, to send them to a place where they could be easily subject to persecution, torture, killing.
My people, we need to talk. Because just a few days ago, we were breaking down how Rwanda is reportedly negotiating with Washington to accept U.S. deportees, potentially becoming the first African country to do so. But while we were focused on that, something else was already happening, quietly and shockingly. Deportees were reportedly already en route to, get this, South Sudan.
Let's continue.
Yes, South Sudan. The same country still reeling from a devastating civil war after gaining independence in 2011. A country where tensions are once again on the rise. A country the US government itself has labeled with a level 4, quote, do not travel advisory, warning of crime, kidnapping, and armed conflict. So what's going on here? According to court filings, immigration lawyers told a federal judge that at least 2 migrants, one from Myanmar, the other from Vietnam, may have been placed on a deportation flight to South Sudan. That's right, 2 Asian men sent to a war-torn African nation they've never been to, with no ties whatsoever. Let's be clear. The Trump administration is quietly ramping up a global deportation strategy, leaning hard on poor nations, especially in Africa, to take in migrants who aren't even their citizens. Rwanda is reportedly in talks. But South Sudan? That one caught everyone off guard. Today on the breakdown, we're pulling back the curtain. We're digging into what may have gone down behind closed doors. What kind of deal could be in play here? And why South Sudan, of all places, ended up.
Do you hear that? That's the same thing I was saying. That's the same question that I was asking. What was the deal? What was the deal that these people have to accept? That's exactly my question. Okay? Okay. Let's continue. Huh?
At the center of this controversial move. Because if 2 Asian migrants can be dropped off in South Sudan, you've got to ask yourself, where could African and Caribbean migrants being deported end up next? We're going to break it down. But first, a big welcome to all of our new subscribers and members. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're watching and haven't joined us yet, please consider this your personal invitation. Because here at Pan Genius TV, we're not just building a channel. We're creating a global home for Black stories that are told with truth, with intention.
Follow my girl, because she know how to bring this news right, because that's the truth. And it's always going to be somebody that is speaking for South Sudan other than South Sudanese people. Thank you.
Intention and with power. And if that speaks to you, and I hope it does, hit subscribe, tap the bell, drop a super thanks, or join our membership community where we go beyond the headlines with exclusive content, behind the scenes conversations.
ICE, they said the officer responded, quote, South Sudan, when she asked where he was removed to. So you can see why there is so much confusion as to where these detainees who just yesterday were in the detention system are now no longer there. Now, the attorneys are trying to scramble to figure this out, because even though some of these migrants.
It's a shocking news. People wake up and these people are already been deported.
Did have removal orders and could be deported. The question here is, where were they deported to? Because if they are sent to a third country, in this case South Sudan, then they would have had to go through a process. They would have had to be notified. They would have had an ability to contest their removal to this country. Now, all of that appears to not have happened, which is why we are seeing all of this unfold in these court filings and in the courtroom. I will also tell you, John, the Department of Homeland Security has not publicly confirmed a flight to South Sudan, a place that has been on the civil war and where the U.S. advises Americans not to travel to because ongoing conflict there. So certainly a
Sorry, guys. I just want to say this. By the way, the one person that they say he from South Sudan, and I said it too, but he from South Sudan, he's not even from South Sudan. They say he got everything mixed up. He don't have his identity right. So he don't even from South Sudan. He's not even from there. You know, they're just one of them. You know, so let's just continue. Let's just continue, you know, for a minute, because it's getting interest, you know. Yeah.
scramble is still unfolding at this hour, John, as attorneys try to figure out where people who they knew yesterday are nowhere found in the U.S. system.
All right, let's rewind for a second, because my people, the bullying that's happening behind the scenes, it is real. Back in April, the U.S. State Department slapped a full visa ban on South Sudanese citizens. The reason? Washington claimed South Sudan was refusing to take back one of its own citizens who was being deported. But here's where it gets murky. According to the South Sudanese government, the man in question wasn't even one of theirs. They say he was incorrectly identified as South Sudanese. Wrong passport, wrong background, wrong guy. But still, agreed to let him in, quoting the spirit of friendly relations. That's diplomatic code for, listen, we're trying to fight. We're also not thrilled about this. And yet, visa ban still in place. Then Senator Marco Rubio chimed in saying, and I quote, "We will be prepared to review these actions when South Sudan is in full cooperation." So now we have to ask, is the U.S. government pressuring South Sudan to take back more deportees, possibly even ones who aren't South Sudanese, just to get that visa ban lifted? Is this diplomacy? Or is this straight up coercion? Because if you zoom out, it's not just about deportee. It's about power. Who gets to—
True. It's about power. It's about power. When we're speaking about power, we're speaking about South Sudan. South Sudan, they're using the wrong power. South Sudanese, they're using the wrong power. South Sudanese, you guys are using the wrong power. Exactly. Because this is not the way how to handle this matter. This is not the way. Let's continue.
Who gets to call the shots? And who gets punished when they don't play along?
The capital city is relatively calm, but many people here are concerned about other parts of South Sudan, which are becoming increasingly volatile. Since a revitalized peace agreement was signed in 2018 to end the civil war, conflicts have mainly been intercommunal.
What we've seen more recently is that conflict has not taken on a direct political nature and manifests really between clashes involving the uniformed elements of both the principal parties. Our absolute fear and anxiety is that the country will relapse into open war.
Regional leaders major conflict. Machar is accused of planning a rebellion against the government and is under house arrest.
In 2013, people started calculating towards the election of 2015 as a of the SPLM. And it went rough. Why it went rough? Because the dialogue and concept of power didn't get any internal party consensus. And this is what we're paying the price for until now.
The world's youngest country has never held elections. It gained independence 14 years ago. Some critics blame President Kiir.
You will never risk giving power to somebody while he is still alive. You see, the problem of Kiir is that he is, in fact, he is afraid of accountability. He doesn't want to be accountable, and that is why he has made it difficult for the agreement to be implemented.
Tensions between Kiir's Dinka people, the country's largest ethnic group and Mashar's Nuwe community still exist. Since gaining in
So we heard it. We guys heard this. We heard that Riek Machar and Salva Kiir, they still have it going on. You know, it's just like we say, Kenny, 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 Kenny. They cannot stay together, and that's exactly what's happening. So we just keep our prayer for South Sudan, and we will see change. Believe me or not. They say we need somebody strong, but we do. We do need somebody strong. We do need somebody that educated, president. We need somebody that know how to speak as a leader. We need somebody that know everything about politics. You got these people that already been in school, already graduated, but they're still suffering because there is no peace. People living in fear, people living in hunger, starvation, and we just can't be silent. And I'm glad that God gave me this voice here. I'm not using it because somebody told me to come out and speak. I'm using my voice for the people that they don't know how to speak. I'm using my voice for the silent people. I'm using my voice for people to be attention. We let other people come from other countries and rule our world, rule South Sudan. Like how can there be somebody from another country ruling your country, telling you what to do? And you a president, somebody from another country, president from another country telling you what to do and how to do. But I can tell exactly what's the reason. The reason behind it because South Sudan is in debt with United States. $950 million. That's money. This money right here is gone to USA. But Salva Kiir don't want to pay the money. Salva Kiir don't want to pay this money. And he acting like he's sleeping. And that's why United States eye open. Their eye open and they start to realize that, nah, we gotta go see what's up with South Sudan, the dirtiest country, you know. That's how they speak about us. It ain't just what I say out of my mouth, That's how they speak about us. They speak about us like that. They speak about South Sudan as dirty people. But we're still struggling as South Sudanese. We're still struggling, so it's okay. People can talk about us as long as they want to. But we, as people, we will stand together and we will educate the new generation. So when they go back to South Sudan and we teach them the history of South Sudan, we will have enough information for them so they can deliver to the world. We need a new leader. We need a new leader. Somebody have to come and save South Sudan. Somebody have to come. People in South Sudan, they don't have too much to speak about. That's how you know when you're living in starvation, you will not have so much to speak about, so much to talk about. You will not have the energy. That's just simple as it is. When you got time that you got to think about how to feed your kids, how to go outside and trying to make few dollars so you can feed your kids. Even hard. It's not easy. It's not easy in South Sudan. Like, if you know how when a new country is born, just like shopping center, when a shopping center open, everybody just go in there and pick what they want. And what they don't want it, they will leave it. That's how people look at South Sudan. They look at South Sudan as just, we can just do this and leave that alone. We can just worry about this and leave that. But the one that you left, that's the problem. That's our problem right there. Can we speak about it? In my next video, I will bring a guest to my channel so we can talk more about South Sudan and what happened in South Sudan. As my friend, he live in South Sudan, and he the closest person that I know being around this government, and I believe we will have enough information for the next live stream. Please, people, let's take a look again in South Sudan and just please, with whatever that you can help South Sudan, do it. Don't be afraid. Because South Sudan needs you. South Sudan needs you. And we all need your voice. And I will not take long because this is probably my first time streaming live for a long time. And we will continue from here and on. We will continue pushing. We will push for peace. We will push to stop all the nonsense that going on in South Sudan. And I appreciate everybody. And please share and like and subscribe so you will receive more video like this. And follow me on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube as well as on Facebook. Like, share, comment so you can be the top. So whenever that we come out in a broadcast, you will be the first person to be alarmed. We have a lot of things is gonna happen. We have a lot of good things is gonna happen. We want to create something that people will look up to. We want to create something that later on somebody will speak about it with a proud. Love you guys. Guys, be safe, stay safe, whatever you at. And we will catch up maybe next time for the next streaming live. And I promise, as I always do, before I go live, we will let you know. Thank you guys for everything. You guys being a good part of my channel from YouTube, Facebook. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Have a good night, a good day, whatever you at. God bless you.